All right. Wait for a few people to join us. All right. Anyway, this is James 1:5. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God that giveth to all man and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. So I don't know if anybody's noticed or not, but we live in some confusing times. Hello, Ramona, Mark, Nit, Sharon, Pappy, Obram, Carol, Bill, Mark, Lisa. How's everybody doing? And here's another little verse that I find a bit relative to these days. Hang on. Let me pull together here. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rest of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as if it were on fire. Ye have heaped treasure together for the last days. Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth, and the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabbath. You have lived in pleasure on the earth and been wanton. You have nourished your hearts as in the day of slaughter. You have condemned and killed the just, and he doth not resist you. Be patient, therefore, brethren, in coming of the Lord. Behold, the husbandman waiteth for the precious fruit of the earth, hath long patience for it, until he receive the earth and latter rain. Also, be ye also patient. Establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord draweth nigh. Grudge not against one another, brethren, lest ye be condemned. Behold, the judge standeth before the door. Take my brethren and prophets who have spoken in the name of the Lord for an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience. And behold, we count them happy which endure. Ye have heard of the patience of Job, and have seen the end of the Lord. That the Lord is very pitiful and of tender mercy. I think it's pretty relevant to what we've got going on nowadays. There's of a lot of information out there, and I don't know. I've always said you really can't go by what anyone says. I go by their actions because people can tell you anything. It's what actually happens and what goes on. I don't have a crystal ball. Uh, I don't know the future. I put all my faith in the Lord, and whatever comes out of this mess is His will. So there's that. So everyone, remain patient. I'm right. I mean, it's tough. It's tough right now, especially if you see what's going on with the country. And for instance, this last little deal in D.C. all all year there have been protests and burning down of cities, and you turn on the news, get your information, and they call it a mostly peaceful protest while the city's on fire behind them. Right now, we have what we at the Capitol last Wednesday, and that wasn't no good. People shouldn't have rushed in there. However, there's rumors going around. There's very strong video evidence that a lot of them that broke into the Capitol, the first ones that broke into it, were with Antifa and Black Lives Matter. And there, like I said, you can look it up. I know it's hard to do nowadays, but get off of Google, go try DuckDuckGo or a different search engine. I'm using YouTube now because that's the only really the only means that I have. I could do a video, but then I won't get to interact with you all on a different platform. And it's coming. YouTube's days are numbered. Google's days are numbered. Twitter's days are numbered. They're taking away our freedom of speech. You don't have to like what I say. I don't have to like what you say, but we've got a right to say it. As long as you're not harming another person, you've got a right to say it. That is in our Constitution. I wish this country would get back to the rule of law. And there's a lot, probably 90% of the laws are good, but there are some unjust laws that we just need done away with. For instance, driving home tonight, I always wear my seatbelt and always have. I mean, if I'm out four-wheeling or something like that, I might not do it. I've got the buzzer, my seatbelt buzzer disconnected in my truck because I don't want to hear it ding, ding, ding while I'm driving around here on the farm. But it's against the law to not wear a seatbelt. As long as you're not harming another person or harming another person's property, there shouldn't be a law against that. If I don't want to wear my seatbelt, now get this, in the state of Kentucky, it's against the law for me to wear a seatbelt, but I can ride a motorcycle down the road without a helmet on. There's no seatbelts on a motorcycle either. So I'm not hurting anybody else. If I was to get in a wreck and have an accident or something, then I'm not hurting anybody else. I suppose if I hit somebody else, then that could hurt them, but maybe they got their seatbelt on. I don't know. Accidents happen, things happen. But I'm talking about if I go out and hit a tree or something like that, and I don't have a seatbelt on, then I'm not hurting anybody else except for me and the tree and my poor little truck. So I think that's an unjust law. I think that's just a way for cops to make their quota or whatever, which is another thing I don't like about the police. They've got quotas where they'll pull you over if you're doing 5 miles an hour over the speed limit. That's a bunch of garbage too. But anyway, most of our laws are there for a reason and for protection, and they're good things. Yeah, every day we're human. It's what we do. We make mistakes. The media, I think, they should have to just report the news, report the facts, and like they're calling people like me domestic terrorists. Now, I wasn't at the Capitol. What those people were doing is also part of their Constitution. 99% of the people there were peaceful protesters, and they've got a right to protest. They're not they're not being violent. A lot of them, I think, was protecting the police. Now, and again, you're always going to have an element and things like that. I had thought about going to that, but number one, I'm not big in the crowds, and there's such a thing as groupthink, and there can become a frenzy, and people will do stuff that they wouldn't normally do, and I would be apt to do it. But nothing was burned down. Uh, the statues and all that wasn't defaced or anything like that I've seen. But then again, we really don't know what all really happened. The mainstream media, they're our enemy now. And they've got a lot of people fooled. There's a lot of people fooled. And that's my biggest prayer is that people will awake and see the media, see these politicians for what they are. Myself, I can't trust a liar. There's just something about a liar that I can't trust. And I think what it is they're not telling me the truth. And that's what I'm after is the truth. But it's not only mainstream. I mean, like on BitChute, I've been watching different videos all day on this, and all of them's telling a different thing, and all of them's shouting this and shouting that. And you don't know what to believe. All of them's got these high up people in the military and this and that. We've got 8 more days left until I guess what's today? Maybe 7 more days now until the inauguration. So let's go by the actions. There's a lot of people out there, and a lot of things are being spread and share this to all your friends and all this and that. But go by their actions and trust in the Lord. I've heard all kinds of different things, and there's no doubt in my mind that there are the elite in this world. They control the media, they control Hollywood, but there's no doubt in my mind because I've seen too much evidence, and it's still out there. You can still find it on the internet. You just have to look for it. You can't use these big sites like Google or YouTube or anything like that. They've banned it. They've banned it, and it's the truth. But there's no doubt in my mind that these people are still they're Satanists. They're sick people. They're child molesters. They use adrenochrome. There's no doubt in my mind. There's way too much evidence. Supposedly, a bunch of laptops got seized in this last Capitol break-in. Supposedly, the White Hats got it, which the good guys or whatever got a bunch of different laptops. But let's not forget that Anthony Weiner's laptop was also took, and on that laptop was stuff that made veterans of the New York City Police Department cry because it was so horrible. Let's not forget Epstein was arrested. That Ghislaine Maxwell is arrested now. Epstein, I think he's still alive. You can't convince me that a man hung himself with a paper towel in a place that nothing was even high enough to hang yourself to begin with. You can't convince me of that. And the cameras just happened to go down, and the guards just happened to be on their breaks at that time at a maximum security prison. You can't convince me of that. Does that sound right to anyone? So I think that these people are talking. I think a lot of people are ratting out to each other. All these politicians are controlled. They've all been blackmailed. They'll get them down on Epstein's Island and record them having sex with underage kids, and I think they're all controlled that way or some way, money, whatever it is. I think that's low on it. I think it's more like 98% of DC is corrupt. You've seen them all. Like whenever the protests happened in DC and they stormed into the Capitol, why would Trump supporters storm the Capitol whenever they're having Congress people up there talking about the election fraud? And you can't convince me there was no election fraud. I've seen too many videos on that. Okay, I believe what my eyes are showing me. I've seen too many videos of election fraud. But why would they storm in there while the congressmen are making the argument that this is a fraudulent election? And then you notice after they all come back in there, and then they're all against it. The election, the fraudulent elections out the door. Nobody's even talking about it anymore. Yeah, it's just crazy. What I mean, they must think we're all retarded. That's all I can figure. Yep. I mean, we need more than two parties. I think it is a, I think it is a false flag. But there's rumors that they went in there and they got all these laptops and stuff, and you hear all this stuff. And again, I'm not here to tell you what's true and what's not true, and prey on all the information. That's what I do. But part of the plan was to see who all's going to turn coat. Like right before it, Trump said that he hopes Pence does the right thing. Well, Pence didn't do the right thing. I don't know. There's a lot of confusion in any type of war, and don't fool yourself. We are at war. We're at war to try to keep our freedoms in this country, to try to keep this is the greatest country on earth. I mean, we have all kinds of freedoms. We have all kinds of opportunities here. And the left are using people that's low information people. Stalin would have called them useful idiots. They they have the sheep mentality. Watch Fox News or they watch CNN and they think that those people are telling them the truth, even though it's been shown time after time all they do is lie. Like going back to the Capitol deal, all these people are saying that Trump told his followers to do it, and he didn't, or his supporters, he didn't. He told them to remain peaceful. He's always been on the side of the law from day one. Whenever he first started running, he was a law and order candidate. You can get online now and see all these other politicians talking about violence and their mobs with Antifa and Black Lives Matter and what they ought to do, and if they see someone that's on Trump's team, make a crowd. I mean, and just downright threats to Trump himself. And I think the biggest thing is what these people are missing is Trump is a tool. Okay, he's a tool for the patriots. It's not about Trump. He's doing what millions of us in this country want to be done. Today he was down at the border wall. We need it. Good fences make good neighbors. It keeps out some of the riffraff and the drugs, and who knows what's coming across the border down there. Heck, I think we need one up north too. But he's always been on the side of law and order, and he's a tool for the patriotic Americans. Trump, even if he was to get back in there for another 4 years, after that, what are we going back to after that? We need more people like that, more people on the side of law and order, and more people that will uphold the Constitution, because the Constitution is a great rule of law. Yeah, they didn't even hear the cases. I mean, brother, I'm just telling you how it is, man. They can try it, and actually, I don't really. Maybe there will be a way out of all this without a bunch of violence, and I pray there is, but I don't see it right now. One side or the other, they've got us fighting each other so bad. And Tim, I bet you can't name one bad thing that Trump's done, one lie that he's told. I mean, it's worked for over 200 years. And that's all we ask. The Patriots, all we want to do is go to work, come home, spend time with our families, and enjoy ourselves. And we don't care, I don't care what someone else does in their bedroom. Uh, everybody knows right from wrong. So we're not trying to control control the other side. The other side's trying to control us. Look at all the bans on social media now, taking away their people's freedoms of speech. And when when you cut a man's tongue out, it just means that you're afraid of what he's going to say. If you don't think there's any evidence of cheating during the election, of a fraudulent election, then you're just not paying attention, man. You're just not paying attention. I should have restarted my internet before I done this because it's going really slow. I'm in the wrong buttons. Stand by. Hang on. I'll show you some evidence. There's videotapes of them pulling suitcases out from underneath tables. They said that there was a sewer line that broke and that everybody leave. Then they started counting the votes again at 4 o'clock in the morning. Now, why did they do that whenever nobody was there to watch them count the votes? Educate yourselves. That's all. That's all I ask. If you still believe it, that's fine. But people don't want to look into it. And again, my dad, I try to show him. He won't even look at it. He won't even look at it. That's how far the programming is. I would rather know something than not know it. I mean, I've heard people say, "Well, I'd rather not know that Bigfoot's around my house." I would. Hang on, I'm playing my game now. This is kind of keep me sane-ish. Indeed, Jay. Yeah, there's all kinds of evidence out there, and if the left is so intent on there wasn't any voter fraud, then why not show? What? Let's hash it out. Why not show the evidence? Show what one side's got. Let's take it to court. And that's all we was asking for. We didn't get it. Why is it this to show me everything? Now it's showing everything else. That's great. So this is what they do. They take it off the internet to where you can't find it. I don't know. I'm not gonna go crazy looking for it anyway. Where you can't find it, but I know I've seen it and I know it's out there. That would be great, Chris, but that's not what they want. And as long as you've got these elite in control, that's not what they want. They don't want us to come together. They don't want us all to be on one team. They want to keep us stupid and fighting each other. That's exactly what they want. That's their playbook. Divide and conquer. That's how they control us. Yeah, I've seen some stuff on that too. I haven't really looked into all that. The way I figure it, it's all going to come out, and I don't know. There's a lot of information out there. I'm trying to eat the meat and spit out the bone, but sometimes it's hard to tell the difference. Amen to that, Felix. Yeah, they've been doing this for a while. Texas didn't even use the machines that the voter machines that a lot of these states used, Dominion voter machines, because they said that they were so corrupted. Yeah, they want to cause confusion, and it's working. People sharing stuff left and right, and like I said, pray for discernment. Uh, it'll all come out. It will all come out. I mean, I've heard that they're going to use the emergency broadcast system to do it, and I'm ready for it. I wish it was already all out. I'm not sure what's being waited on or anything, but there's no doubt in my mind. And again, I'm not 100% convinced that Trump is a good guy. He might be part of it. Yeah. I mean, you might get mad at me for saying that, but I just, I call him as I see him. If if they wanted this over, and I could see that maybe they're trying to flush out the last remaining few, like they did on the Capitol protest. I can see that too. But a lot of this information's been out there for years. A lot of this stuff. I mean, look at what happened during 9/11. The planes flying into the towers, a building falling that nothing even hit. And it's both sides. It's not, Democrats and Republicans are two different sides, but they're the same coin, two different wings of the same bird. However you want to say it, they're in it together. I'm talking about true conservatives, true patriots that love God, love their country, and love their families, against people that just want, to step on us. Is what we're really up against. And a lot of people's misinformed, a lot of people's brainwashed. Uh, but it'll all come out. And even after it all comes out, you're still going to have people that's not going to believe any of it, no matter what you put in front of them or what they see, until I guess MSN tells them it's okay. Yeah, this is really real. I mean, that's the same thing like what it would take for people to believe in Bigfoot is if their leaders told them, yeah, it's real. It's the same thing. You talking about? You see the American currency? Not sure what you mean, Randy. It's just like the bigger man. Heat line. It's a good idea. Should have been done. I've got all my gas jugs filled up. I've got plenty of money out of the bank. I've had plenty of ammunition because we're not going to find any ammunition right now. The shelves are bare. Well, you look at the COVID bill that they just passed with all the pork in it. And why would they even put that in there for a virus unless they're getting a little bit of kickback from these companies? That's what we don't need. Look how in debt our nation is. I wish they would go back to the gold backing of the dollar because there's nothing backing the dollar now. There's nothing holding it up now. I'm not sure. Not sure what you're talking about. Me both, Tim. It's disgusting. They treat us like we're a bunch of kids, like they're telling us about Santa Claus or something. It's disgusting. Yeah, yeah, it keeps going up, don't it? But for years, I guess the last 8 years, and some of those times, every payday, I'd be going out and buying a couple boxes of ammunition. I mean, I got enough. I don't have enough, but I got quite a bit. Yes, that was my plan. YouTube, the show. Right now, honestly, I don't know if you're speaking in riddles. Is if it's a video you're talking about, maybe just put the video name up there. I don't know. I know you're only allowed so many words on a comment, but that just read this, Randy. And if that makes sense to you, then God bless you. It won't make no sense to me. Well, I mean, you always got God. And that's another thing, like the whole COVID deal. I don't understand, especially Christians, the panic over that mess because once we're out of this world, we know where we're going. So hallelujah, I'm ready. And you got to pack your bags. Exactly, Jay. I know you're ready. Also, well, they're being controlled. It's not a lot of it's not their fault because they put chemicals in the air, they put chemicals in the food, they put chemicals in the water to dumb people down. Then the school systems, they educate them in a certain way. I mean, they tell them that evolution's real and that their great grandpappy was a monkey, and ultimately they come from a rock. Uh, people's it's ingrained throughout generations and generations. Like my mom and dad, both of them. It's hard to get through with anything. Dad won't even look at stuff. And mom's kind of that way on certain things too, especially with COVID. She won't even look at alternative stuff. If whatever Fauci says is gospel. I don't get it. I just don't understand that she was a nurse. You don't need no bags to go to heaven. All you need is Christ in your heart. Believe in Him. Good for you, Joan. We need more like you. You know, there are laws in certain states, and you talk about some laws and people that's not supporting the laws, that if there are lies in these textbooks, then they need to be changed. They need to be took out of the textbooks. And evolution is all a big lie. Yeah, I mean, I don't get it. I don't understand it. But then you get other doctors that come on with different information. And what happens? They ban the videos. Yeah, there's all kinds of silly people. No, no. You working around concrete, that'll do it. Oh, I got something this summer. You know, and that's another thing. The vaccine I heard on the video that the COVID's all it is the flu, and the vaccines that they're giving people are just a flu shot, stuff like that. And I think COVID's a real thing. I think it's a man-made thing. I think it's overhyped, way overhyped. And the reason it was overhyped was because of the election. That didn't really turn out for them, so then they had to do the other election frauds. No, they hide that, and that's just this. One of these days, they're going to have to answer for that. They're going to have to go before God Almighty and answer for everything they've done. And we all will. And I've done enough that I'm embarrassed about and I'm ashamed of. And man, I really don't want to have to bare my soul to the Lord Almighty about some of this stuff. But that's the great thing about Christ is, we're all fallible, we all sin, but we're all forgiven through Him. But man, I'd rather be in my shoes than a lot of these people's shoes. Some of these people are just straight up devils. They're going to have to answer for it. Yeah, I mean, uh, vaccines usually take years to come up with, and I don't, I guess I haven't taken them since I was a kid, and that wasn't so my choice then either. But it usually takes a few years to come up with a vaccine. Well, this one was done supposedly in under a year, and then like mom's like, "I'll be the first one in line for it." I'm like, huh? Shouldn't we wait and wait and see? I'm not taking it. I'm not scared of the booger man, no matter what form he comes in, be it a wood booger or a vaccine or a COVID, whatever. I ain't scared of him. Take me out tonight. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to leave this crazy place. We live in a crazy world. We live in wonderful times and exciting times. However, they're confusing and it's crazy, and I'm ready to go home. See you on the other side. I don't know if I don't know. I don't know if towers can have viruses. It's an egg now. Pray more, worry less. But anyway, I figured I would jump on here a little bit tonight and just, I mean, I don't know what's going on. It's, we live in exciting times. There's all kinds of stuff floating around. Uh, I've kind of given the internet a break today, especially. Yeah, they've made the world crazy though. I mean, the world should be so simple. The way God created it for us, how He wanted us to live in it, this should be so simple. But and the way they've set it up is just crazy. Thank you, John. I had a bit of activity. Let me think. I think it was Saturday night. Yep, Saturday night. They were one banged up there at the barn, and then I had a whoop out here, and I was packing. I'm remodeling the kitchen right now. I'm finished. I've framed up my walls. Now I'm running my plumbing and my electric. I'm moving my washer and dryer and hot water tank over into another corner where my well pump used to be at, and the tank used to be for that. And I'm running the dryer vent outside because the dryer vent's never been outside here, so I'm doing that as well. But I've been doing all that, so I haven't really been boogering or anything. And that was the plan. It's cold out there, and I don't want to go out and play in the cold. But I do want to get out and do a bit of hiking. That's always fun. I just want to get this done. I've been working on this kitchen for about 2 years. I got the tile down and all that. And I don't know. If I hit this hard for a month, I can get it and relax. I want to get it done before spring for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I don't trust it. I don't trust any of it. I don't know. Folks, use your discernment. Be good to each other. Be kind to your neighbor. Help each other out. We're going to get through it. Like I said, it's hard to say what's going to happen, but I think we got big times coming up. So keep the faith in God and pray on it. Everybody have a good night and God bless.